close.
Is there any reason I can't be up here?
Above my pay grade.
Okay.
That'd be somebody downstairs.
Did they start over there somewhere?
Yeah, way over there.
Where am I gonna be able to see it from here?
I don't think so.
It's weird.
I think this is for the finish line camera.
Oh, okay. Here. He told me to come up here and film what I could, but I don't even see where the start line's at.
I think the start line is, I don't know, I need to find it.
I think he's so confused right now. It's over there.
I'm assuming it's over there.
He pointed that way. He said, just film what you can see. Oh, they're
Sure.
way over there.
Where?
Is that what it is, way over there?
I think it's way over there.
There ain't no way.
Because he said that they're going to run out and that way and around somewhere, and then they're going to come up and go up this ridge. And then, I guess, come back down, and then they're going to run back through the start line and then come through here, and then here's the finish.
Good morning, and we'd like to welcome everyone to Cabell Midland High School for the 2024 Cross Country State Championships. First race set to begin in just a couple minutes. That's the AA Girls Championship race. Set to take off at 9 a.m.
Home. Oh, here's the start over here. If you want to come look. Yeah, that's the start right there. A lot of years down.
Good morning and welcome to the 2024 Wvssac Cross Country Championships from beautiful Cabell Midland High School. We have a full day of action lined up for you here today. Adam Zundel here with Hall of Fame coach Jim Mahan. Coach, we've got a great morning for racing. We've got the AA girls coming up.
Those are like the ones like
what are your initial thoughts about this first race?
Well, it's going to be a tight one. They know that, especially in the girls with Fletcher and Sorrow and Tenny there. So it's going to be probably a 3-4 horse race in that, but we're looking at pretty crisp weather to get started. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be really a good start. Probably, honestly, Adam, probably the most competitive of all the races that we'll see this morning. So
30 to 32.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, as we were looking at
it won't even let itself die.
I think we're getting started off with
it has a
return to home
race
feature
here, and you can override it like
morning.
once, but if it senses that it's too far away, it won't even let you. It'll just bring itself back and land wherever the
at the
home
line
point
now.
is.
Here, race is going to go off here in
My home
just a
point
few
set
minutes.
like right at the
as a coach, what were some of those final messages that you would deliver to your athletes right before it was about go time here for a big race like this?
Yeah, one of the things that I would try to focus on is, you know, you want to get out of trouble. If that's first of all. But if there is something, a mishap, they're going to start it over anyway. So that's really not a big deal. But the biggest thing is don't run outside of your comfort zone in your race. Just get out, excuse me, don't get in trouble. Get in with you. You're either going to run with a pack or you're going to try to set times. Now, I wasn't really that high on times as I was placements, because placements are important. They're a part of the scoring. So you find the girls that you're going to
they started over here.
And then that's the ones you stay with.
Over there.
Yeah.
And the state championships are underway.
We are.
Again, this is the AA Girls Championship race.
See off in the distance.
They'll go out pretty hard, you know, for the first couple 100 meters just to get themselves set, kind of get the blood flowing. But then they've got this hill coming up within the first 800-900 meters. And that's
Alyssa Sorrow from Williamstown comes into this race as the favorite. Freshman Mason Fletcher from Herbert Hoover looks to give her a challenge this morning.
On this opening section out around the field. So Coach, take me through kind of the three parts of this section: first mile,
Yeah.
second mile, and third mile.
Yeah, the first mile that we're looking at, we're out around the softball field, baseball field. Then they'll go across the band field, and then they head up the hill, and that's really where you're not going to make a whole lot of progress.
Ask all spectators
When you get on that
to please be
backside,
cautious when crossing the cross-country course this
4,000
morning,
meters,
especially when the races are going on.
Meters, and that's a downhill
I
run,
had done
and
lost them.
that's where you're going to have to make up your time. This is a fast course. It is labeled as a fast course. It only has that one hill in it. And then you have to really be in a rhythm.
Heavy lifters making their way back up to the starting field.
Adam, that a lot of coaches
Mason Fletcher
really stress
out front of Wvssac right now.
They wait until, or a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them do this, but a lot of the coaches will tell their kids, hey, when you hit that track, you see who you can run down. Well, the problem with hitting the track is you only got about 250, 300 meters. That's all you have. And you know, that's really not enough, because really the ideal time, if you've got the gas in the tank, when you come down off that hill, there's about 700 meters left. And if you have anything left and you have the speed, and we have speed runners that gobble them up as they get closer to the finish line, that's when you really want to make a move.
Yeah, as you can see, the drone shot here overhead. We are seeing it just like you are as well. We'll try to identify the runners as best we can. Looks like that's a red jersey, which would indicate likely Mason Fletcher, and I'm going to guess that would be Alyssa Sorrow with her at this moment. And we were talking before we hopped on here about the differences between a senior and Alyssa Sorrow, so accomplished, a couple of state championships under her belt at the single A level, finished runner-up as a freshman, and then won a couple of other state championships. She's been, really, even though regardless of class, one of the best runners in West Virginia, committed to Tennessee. So she is a high-caliber athlete. And then you have a superstar in the making in Mason Fletcher, who's done a lot of great things at the youth level, broke a Caitlin Toohey record at Nike Indoor Nationals last year. So she is a bona fide star. So how do you manage that? What do you think about that matchup between a senior and a freshman, and what kind of experience does this require to perform at your best here today?
Yeah, that's a great question, Adam. You got, the senior experience versus the freshman immaturity, and I'm not talking about anything other than race experience.
Right.
But what you're dealing with here is someone that has been around and has had a lot more races and knows what it's going to have to take. So what kind of strategy is Alyssa Sorrow going to use if she's behind, or vice versa? What kind of strategy will Mason Fletcher? They have raced enough together to know each other, to know where they're going to go and when they're going to make their move, and that's where we're going to be at. But I think that you have kind of that blissful uninhibited nature about Fletcher, because she's a freshman, knowing that, hey, if I don't get it this year, I got 3 more cracks at it the following 3 years. However, the only downside to that thinking is, if you think that way, there is a possibility you could be injured.
Yep. You see the two of them there. It looked like Mason Fletcher with about a half-step lead, and Sorrow tracking right behind her. And don't forget about Amelia Tenney, who was the regional champion just last week. We can go through some of these regional results here as this race goes along. In that Region 1, really competitive, Tenney was the champion there, followed by Sorrow. From a team standpoint, Williamstown, Elkins, and East Fairmont were able to get through. Then moving on to Region 2, it was Addison Tharp from Frankfort. Frankfort will be in the mix here for possible for a team title as well. Frankfort, Kaiser, and Hampshire qualified out of Region 2. That meet was in Hampshire. Moving on to Region 3, it was at Shady Spring. Adrian Truman was the champion. Nicholas County and Shady Spring advanced as a team. And then in Region 4, that's where Mason Fletcher resides, the freshman leading Herbert Hoover to the team championship with just 27 points. She was followed by Jenna Brown, a teammate, so also will be returning next year. So Herbert Hoover likes its chances, but Buffalo performed really well as well. They were second. They were runner-up in that region. They had 29 points. They're coached by Devin Rich.
We're coming up on about the 6-minute mark, so we're coming fairly close to where they're about a third of the way through the race.
And here we see our leaders, and that is, in fact, Sorrow and Fletcher. Distinct running style for Alyssa Sorrow and Fletcher in that bright red, and they have a large lead here. We weren't sure how things might shape up. That looks like Tenney and then a Frankfurt runner following her.
Probably Addison Sharp, I would suspect.
Yep. You see them come by here through that mile mark. And this will be the part of the course here, as you see the overhead drone shot, where there are a lot of little turns here. You're going to come up here and some uphill portions. Sometimes it will disrupt your rhythm, so you have to make sure that you are focused.
Yeah, Adam, you were talking about Sorrow's distinctive running style. She definitely has that. You can see how the body movement is more exaggerated, of course, than Fletcher's as they make that hairpin coming back down.
Yeah, these two runners are side by side. I found it interesting on the course last night, and we should mention that the course is in absolute pristine condition here. The weather is a little bit chilly, 40 degrees when the gun went off, but that's pretty good for October.
Yeah.
And I know we've seen worse here before, so you take that, then certainly the blazing heat, and it'll warm up throughout the day. But the course was in really good condition. But these runners going side by side here on some of those turns, you have to take the right angle and get yourself in position. You're not by yourself, so you have to make sure you're hitting your right line, even though somebody is right beside you.
Yeah, that makes it difficult depending on where you are. And you were talking about the sharp turns, which they're going through right now. And it's an interesting concept that Sorrow's decided to be on her right shoulder, or left shoulder, excuse me, most of the time. So it'll be interesting to see if she thinks that she's got more speed than Fletcher because she's just hanging with her.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see when perhaps a move will be made either way.
Yeah, they were super tight there coming out of the curves, and here on this flat stretch, heading into the second mile, it looks like, if anything, a stride or two, Adam. I can't really see a lot of difference there.
No, you're right. It looked like Sorrow content to perhaps sit a little bit and let Fletcher set the pace. These two have gone head-to-head 3 times this season, with Alyssa Sorrow getting the better of those two matchups the first two, but Mason Fletcher was able to edge out Sorrow on the third go-around. Alyssa Sorrow batting a little bit of injury here in the later part of the year, so trying to come back from that, trying to cap off a stellar career for Williamstown. Williamstown, of course, also in the hunt for a team championship, and you talk to these athletes, and of course everybody wants that gold. They want that top 10, but it's also, this is the team sport where you were really some of those, if you perhaps didn't perform that best on the day, you really want that team title to go with you when you're on your way home.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be running a lot of races prior to, I've always had the philosophy you don't put more races in during the season. You only have so many races in you, and you need to have the fresh legs, especially when you're heading into the state meet, because that's really when it's all supposed to culminate. A lot of the coaches, they really need to, when they focus on their kids, they need to understand that, you're trying to pick off people as you head down the last mile of this course to try to help you win a state championship. Of course, you'd already mentioned earlier how Williamstown's probably the front runner in terms of that, and Frankfurt's probably behind by a few points. But you never know on race day, who's going to show up and who's going to run that PR by 25 or 30 seconds. one of the things that I've talked about with the kids that I coached is, if you've been a 18 and a half, 18:30, 18:45 runner, you're not going to run a 17:30. It's not going to happen. So don't go out there and think you're going to run with them, because it's not going to happen. You have to kind of stay within your race, pick off who you can, and then do the best you can for your team.
Oh, you got a great look at it here head-to-head. What do you think about Mason Fletcher just going ahead and being that stride ahead and willing to take that lead and not take a different strategy?
It's interesting. I don't know whether she decided to do that or whether
by default.
Sarah said, I'm going to let you lead, and I'm going to kind of draft off of you for a little bit. But, these two know each other enough to know that, whoever's – I don't think either one of them are going to make a major move and run away from the other one. It's just going to be grit when we get to the last 400 or 500 meters. They're just going to see who's got it in the tank and who doesn't.
Well, and right now you have to say that sometimes, West Virginia is definitely a small state, but you are looking at two really high-level athletes right here that can compete with anybody across the country. Mason Fletcher, you get another great look at it there as we're coming to the 2-mile mark, and perhaps Sarah going right on her shoulder rather than sitting astride behind.
Right. At
that 2-mile mark at about 12:20.
You run about a 6:10. That's pretty good running across course with a hill and the weather and everything. But you brought up an excellent point, Adam, about the establishment of how good these girls are. And I'm not just talking about these girls. I'm talking about quality runners that are in the state of West Virginia. If you take all of the sports, and I'm not saying this to be biased because I've been involved in a lot of sports, but if you take every sport in West Virginia high school in the last 10 or 15 years, excuse me, the one that has brought itself to the forefront more than any has been running.
And not much has changed at the front of this race, and this is pretty much what we had expected. A great individual battle up top, and we will do our best to try and keep track of this team race as well. And again, Williamstown in the mix, so is Frankfort. Elkins is really coming on strong as a program.
This is not a surprise. We expected, these two runners basically side by side and nobody else around them. But there's a race within a race, and we didn't get a chance to really talk about it. But, you have basically, you have 4 different opponents. You're running the course. You're running against an individual person like here with Fletcher and Sorrow. You're also running against the weather. I mean, we have great weather today, so that's really not a big factor. And then the fourth one is your mind. Mm-hmm. This is so grueling. People don't look at it. They just think, oh, they're just out there running. It's not that big a deal. How hard is it? Well, I don't know about you, but you go on a track and see if you can run a 6-minute mile just on a flat track, let alone being out on a course. That mental part of it is super important as well.
Well, here we go here towards the last half of this race. They're, of course, in the final mile, but now they're getting towards this part where it's pretty much going to be dead flat. They're going to go through a little dip here.
Right there. Right there.
Yep, right. And there goes Sorrow trying to pull side by side. What a terrific race we have right here. What a terrific race. There, you said it before, someone's going to try to make a definitive move, but it's going to be really difficult. Not much separation between these two runners. We have a great one here.
Yeah, they are stride for stride right now.
And Fletcher just that half stride ahead, really controlling the angle. There goes Sorrow on the left.
Sorrow's trying to take the inside angle to push her off, and she kind of got a little bit of a cutoff there.
Yep. Oh, wow, what a terrific race we have here. They're all going to be like this, right?
I certainly hope so. I see one that might not be in that picture, but
yeah,
you never know. That's why they run them.
Yeah, so weird things happen at this championship, right? That's so unpredictable. Obviously this individual race is what we were thinking, but so many wild things can happen, and we are obviously, this is a terrific race, but this race will be won with those 4 from a team standpoint, right, with that pack at 4 and 5, and we will get to that. And Sorrow is trying to make that move, but Fletcher is not going to let her get away.
Honestly, to be honest with you, Adam, Fletcher looks a little stronger right now. Now she's trying to make the move. Here they come around that building. This is going to be super tight.
Well, and I think right now Mason Fletcher's trying to get that position where she's not going to allow Alyssa Sarro to take those inside angles and the straight lines that she was maybe Sarro was trying to do before.
We should be getting close to a visual on them by now. Let's try to look across the way and see, not just from the camera, but also.
Yeah, the freshman, Mason Fletcher, still side by side with the senior, Alyssa Sarro.
10 seconds, and I mean, again, talk about high-level athletes. Irene Riggs has the course record at 16:32. It just seems almost
which
impossible.
Which is like in about 4 seconds.
Which is right now, almost right now.
And they're not on the track yet.
That's incredible, and but that means nothing about what the performance that we are seeing here today, because we are seeing two really, really good runners right now. And once they get on that track, it's 300.
They got about 300 meters left.
Yep. Holy cow, what a great race here.
Yeah, we're going to see a knockdown drag out. See who's got the most left in the tank.
Yeah, who's got that kick? You know, you talk about some track speed, getting up on the track, and Fletcher trying to take a little bit of an advantage here. Starting that separation, she looks like she might be starting her kick.
She started before she made it onto the track.
Yep.
So now she's separated herself by about 6 or 7 meters.
And here they come.
The freshman from Herbert.
Fletcher
Let's see
has
if
the lead
Alyssa
right now.
Sarro,
But here comes
the
Alyssa
defending champ, can close the
Sarro
distance.
making a charge. Not giving up. What a terrific race here.
She's closed the gap by a couple of strides.
Mason Fletcher followed by Alyssa Sarro. About 100 meters to go.
Oh, wow.
Sarro is coming super hard right now. I don't know if she can sustain it as it comes to this point.
Will there be a response here from Mason Fletcher? Will there be enough? Fletcher responds. Coming to the line. She's going to hold her off. Here comes Mason Fletcher, the freshman, world champion in AA. Alyssa Sarro second. Just around 18:20.
18-16, 18-18.
Alyssa Sarro from Williamstown High School, the senior, will be your AA girls runner-up.
Race for those two.
Way was ahead of them.
An outstanding effort by both runners.
Yeah, and here comes Amelia Tenney on the
Nobody
track.
told me there's gonna be another
Terrific
drone.
race
Damn,
in
almost
her
hit it.
own right.
Are you serious?
And here comes Amelia Tenney from Elkins.
That's probably not supposed to be here.
Coming in under 19 minutes.
Drives right across the
Amelia Tenney of
Just under
Elkins High
19
School.
minutes for Tenney.
Got another one on the track. I think this one is, I think it's Addison Tharp.
We'll try to get a bib number on.
I see a blue jersey.
Yep,
so
that's a
what I'm
Frankfurt.
thinking.
You didn't tell me there was gonna be another drone. I almost hit it.
Where is it at?
It was flying right next to me. I saw it go in my
She's a
frame and
senior.
out.
She's been a number one runner. She was third
Scared the shit out of
Where
me.
are you right now?
in
I'm right
AA
above the
last
finish
year.
line. You can see me.
So what I want you to do is go over there, get them, go over there and hover around the face.
Here's Addison Tharp of Frankfurt.
Yep, and now we're going to start to see a parade of athletes making their way through. That is, in fact,
Cassie
starting
Seitz
coming through
of Williamstown High School.
for Frankfurt.
Julia Viola and Lacey Cameron.
Seitz next with bib number 4 coming in next.
Addison Soul.
Here comes Julia Viola outperforming her bib number from Elkins, bib number 9.
Ava Lightfritz from Williamstown.
It is Lacey Cameron.
Adam, we haven't seen anybody steal a place yet. Everybody, as they've come on the track, have finished exactly the way they came on the track.
Haley Nichols of Hampshire.
With another finisher there.
There it is. Oh, fuck. There's that other drone right there.
Again, we'll try to keep an
Savannah
eye on
Holmes
these
of South
races
Harrison High
as
School.
well. So important to get that low stick. which we saw with Mason Fletcher.
Yeah, we say you fill out the individuals. That's another thing you have to think about. There are individuals running in this race. Those have to be extracted from the team scoring. So
that's right.
That's why you end up with some lower scores than you would actually have because of the total runners that are.
That's why it's really difficult to
Bailey
eyeball
Ferguson of Frankfurt.
See a team maybe think you got it figured out.
Sylvia Harris of Williamstown. Cammie Samples of Buffalo High School.
Runners coming in, making that last push. These are so important for points.
Amy Johnson of Nicholas County. Bella Shoemaker of Berkeley Springs. Adriana Bond of East Fairmont.
Coach, as the athletes make their way here, talk about what it means to even get here and qualify.
Madison Angus of Nicholas County.
What it means for the athletes to come and
Mallory Bennett of Elkins.
Qualify for this.
Yeah, that's a great question. What people understand also, these are the best runners in the state.
Laney Knott of Ripley High School.
Sport where you're eliminated. Once you're eliminated, if you're a good team and you're upset, and you're out in basketball, baseball, whatever, that team doesn't even compete. Here, you have the best runners and the best individuals in the state. So when you run in the state meet, you're running against the best runners that there are, and that's different than any other sport. And people don't look at it. They look at cross country as being an individual sport. Is that okay? About right there. Wrapped up in a team sport. Trying to get a team championship. And there's another close finish.
We're just going to get kids running down here like that.
That one place might make a difference between a team being a runner-up.
Hey, for real though, I don't know who got that on the drone, but they were flying. They almost hit right here. There it is. You can see it in the sky. It's right here. It's a mini. Somebody else has one. They're flying around.
Make a difference. You just never know if getting that person is going to be the difference in your race.
This is the first
he's not getting very clear footage. I think he's just using it to watch.
I
think it's a crowd member just using it to watch.
Pushing all the way to the end. There's no stop. You don't get a stop, take a time out because you're cramping or your ankle's sore or your legs are sore. There's any substitution.
You're not supposed to walk. So that would be like in a mile run at Lately Field. Once they went by, that everybody ran out on the side and ran in the middle of the field.
I turned around and I was like, there's nothing but a crowd.
It's just to knock everybody's head.
Okay, one race down.
When's the next one start? Like in a 9:45?
So we got about 35 minutes.
I'm gonna play with control.
Hey, I'm gonna get a power cord and we're gonna plug it in. Okay, we'll bring the power cord up here.
Such a young team. Their second runner. Also soccer. That's what you see that so much. Jenna Brown played soccer. Also Bella Haas played soccer. So you've seen some of those sports and some of those athletes participate in different sports. And soccer,
well, it's always safe to ask country.
I feel it's the same type of athlete.
It's a non-stop. It's go. They do have halftime during soccer.
That's right.
Still the point being, it is a motion. It's a motion sport, and it involves a lot of turning, and you have to have the endurance, but plus you also have to have the speed and the quickness. So, they have a lot of parallels in them as well.
Let's cheer all these girls on as they make their way around the track.
Just how difficult it is to run 3.1 miles in this kind of weather. I mean, it's great weather right now, but to finish against the best in the state and even finish the race. I mean, somebody in this course is going to be the last runner. And I got to say hats off to them just as well as the first place runner because, they gritted it out. They knew they were last, and they're still running. That's a tribute to them and their mindset and all the training that they put in all year for this.
Yeah, to pull on the thread that you were talking about a little bit ago about the best of the best being here, to use the other sport analogy, if this was basketball and your team lost, but you go, hey, you know, that point guard, we'll take him with, he gets to go on, he gets to advance.
Yeah, let's take him and put him on this team, and he can really help.
Right,
them.
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't really get to work that way here.
No.
Here you get all of the best, and they just prime it. That's the way it works. I mean, it's pretty fascinating, really, to see that many good athletes out here competing against each other on what a glorious day it really is.
And it's going to be a complete and full day of racing. I think the weather is going to be terrific. Here we've got a full day of racing lined up for you. We got started with a good one. Like we said, they're all going to be this way. You know,
super exciting. Anytime you get an opportunity to call a state meet, that's what a privilege that is.
Absolutely. Don't quite have an idea about the team race just yet. We'll get that to you as quickly as we can. Find some of those.
We've still got a few getting onto the track. I would suspect these are the last 2 or 3 runners that we see. We have not seen the back. They typically run side by side with the last group to make sure that when they come across the finish line, they're counting every runner, because they count the runners to start the race and they count the runners to finish the race in case something were to happen. You know, if you start with 61 runners and you finish with 60, what happened to that one runner? So, you know, that's something that's really important, that safety aspect as well.
Yeah, you got to talk to our meet referee, Richard Messenger, early. Been doing this a long time. He knows his way around the state meet, right?
Yeah, he's done a few of these, that's for sure. He's a veteran. He's been around. He told me he's been going officiating in high school sports, high school and college since 1969. Yeah, 69. A few decades ago.
Yeah, I got to carry the one on that one. to figure that one out. Up on 27 minutes and 40 seconds here. Again, wrapping up from the.
We had a lot of runners, excuse me, Adam, in this race. There were 114 that we had bib numbers for, so there's still some runners out there on the course.
Susan Gilman from Nicholas County making it to the line. Finishing there.
Running up on 28-25.
Just a terrific double-A race here. We're going to look to be joined by Mason Fletcher in just a little bit. We'll also try and get you those team standings as soon as we can. Looks like Mason is making her way here.
Well, I have to say she needs to be a little cautious. Those bleachers this morning had some ice on them.
Absolutely.
And a little slick, so we definitely want to make sure that she can make a safe trip up the bleachers.
Yeah, that's the last thing we want, is to hold off Alyssa Saro and then succumb to.
Absolutely.
All right, we are going to step away here for just a minute, and when we come back, we will be joined by your double-A champion, Mason Fletcher. So thank you for watching us here at the Wvssac Championship. We will be back in just a moment.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store. Today's culinary warriors have been challenged to concoct the ultimate snack masterpiece using only the finest weapons in our arsenal, snacks and deli delights. Rosemary wields the ancient spears of Laffy Taffy, and Silas counters with the arrow of Slim Jim. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Join us next time for more delicious duels on the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off. Till then, keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right.
Recover.
Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Chocolate Milk, the official beverage of high school sports, is brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community, the health plan. Here for you.
No plan? No problem. Just wing it, and we'll do the rest. Plump and juicy? You got it. Fried to perfection? Always. Sauced and tossed, or naked if you prefer. It's always your choice at Geno's. Whether it's a 6 or 10 piece of our famous original wings, or our tasty traditional wings, or a 10-ounce portion of our tender boneless wings, we'll leave your mouth watering for more. We promise we won't wing it, but you should. Geno's Pizza and Spaghetti House. Just wing it.
Go tuition free with the West Virginia Invests grant program. Whether you're leveling up your career or just getting started, get the skills and free tuition at a West Virginia community and technical college. West Virginia invests in you. This is your chance. Get started at wvssac.org.
Josh, what do we look like
it's easy.
on the fee?
When the opportunity arose for me to pilot our new open heart surgery program at WVU Medicine Thomas Hospitals, I welcomed the chance to bring world-class heart and vascular care to our region. Along with my role as the new cardiothoracic surgeon, our heart and vascular team includes an experienced group of cardiologists and vascular surgeons who are part of the WVU Heart and Vascular Institute. We're here, and we're bringing superior health care to Southern West Virginia and beyond. Visit thomashospitals.org to learn more.
Welcome back to Cabell Midland for this Geno's Tutors Finish Line interview. Adam Zundel along with Coach Mahan, and we are here with the AA champion, Mason Fletcher. What a terrific race. We thought this was going to be a 2-person race. It was. What was your mindset coming into this one?
I just knew it could go either way, and I was just going to see what I could do.
Yeah, we saw a little bit there where you made a little bit of a move. Did you just feel like you had more in the tank?
Yeah, I just left it out there.
Yeah. So as you two were basically stride for stride, and you had that stride lead almost the whole way. Did you want to lead this race?
Not really. I just was kind of stick with her, and we would go back and forth up there.
Was there any place in the race, I mean, we kind of had eyes on you most of the time, but was there any place where Alyssa took the lead on you and then you came back on her?
Yeah, a few places, like going up the hill, we kind of went back and forth.
Then you made this little move right before you got on the track. Was that something you all thought about, or is that just kind of an instinct to try and get a little bit of space there?
Yeah, we kind of had the plan that whoever gets on the track first is going to win, so I just kind of went out there and tried to lead the rest of the way.
And so as you're on the track, she starts to make one more move. Could you sense that she was making one more move?
I felt the pressure, and I just knew I had to go.
Okay, then as you get across that finish line, what kind of relief And what kind of excitement did you feel?
Yeah, I knew I was state champion, and I was excited.
You know, what makes it even more rare, Mason, is you're just a freshman. And I know you've heard that from a lot of people, but you race a lot more experience than a freshman, that's for sure. But, you know, now the target is clearly going to be on your back. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel the pressure, but I'm excited.
What are your postseason plans here?
Yeah, I plan on going to Foot Locker, and then after that, I'll probably just relax for the winter.
Well, I think you've earned it. A terrific job today. A great race. Congratulations. Your AA champion, Mason Fletcher.
Thank you.
There you have it. Mason Fletcher is your champion, holding off Wvssac.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in West Virginia, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
I was so excited when I heard this sandwich was back. I was like, Cloud 9. 2 words, Cloud 9. What's up? This is Mike.
And this is Celia.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich
is the symphony of flavors. You can always count on that crispy, tender, juicy chicken, and it's got pickled jalapenos, and it's so good.
My favorite part is the pimento cheese. Topped off with the honey, it all comes together perfectly. I like the original.
I like the spicy chicken fillet. But either way,
you're getting a winner.
Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Farmers and Mechanics Insurance knows West Virginia, and we understand how much all of our high school teams and athletes mean to the communities that we have served for more than 100 years. That's why we're proud of our partnership with the West Virginia SSAC. Their commitment to teach and promote sportsmanship and citizenship is the key to future success. Protecting what matters most to you. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, a proud partner of the West Virginia SSAC.
The best thing about West Virginia is West Virginia.
It's family, faith, and integrity.
It's a strong work ethic.
Everyone knows their neighbors. I think we feel closer to nature and we feel closer to each other.
You can achieve anything here.
To be a West Virginian is to be hopeful. We live in a state that has boundless opportunities, and with boundless opportunities come hope.
Hope Gas is lighting the way forward for West Virginia. Learn more at wvsforhope.com.
Wouldn't it be nice to start your day with a homemade breakfast and a freshly ground whole bean roasted cup of coffee? Well, at Tudor's Biscuit World, every day starts with freshly cracked.
I'll just read through some of these results and just eat up time. We're back. Welcome back to Cabell Midland. The AA girls race is in the books. We don't quite have those results just yet, but we will get those to you as quickly as we can. We just had a pleasant conversation with Mason Fletcher, your champion. Coach, initial thoughts on what Mason had to say for her race?
She was she was very charming. She's got a special talent about her, and all it's going to do is develop over the years. She's going to get stronger. She's going to get more experience, and I asked her about the target on her back. I think she's willing to accept that quite early. So
yeah, they say pressure is a privilege, so that'll come along with it. I did like it though. Before we got on air, you asked her. She had time enough to put on earrings after the race, which was an interesting component there.
Yeah, I said, you didn't run in those. Oh, no, I'm not going to run.
But then the process of going ahead and to think, I need to put these on to go get in my post-game interview. All right, so we have the AA boys race coming up here in just a moment. What we're going to do is we are going to break down the regional results, and we'll go ahead and start with Region 1. In Region 1, you had Elkins, Grafton, and Williamstown qualifying as a team. Individually, Trevor George was your champion there. He comes in likely as the favorite to win this double-A race. His teammate, Elkins, actually went 1, 2, and 3 in that race, and they finished with just 24 points. From an individual standpoint, Nathaniel Stuck from East Fairmont qualified. Donovan Childs from East Fairmont qualified as well. Bodie Contra qualified from Oak Glen. Mitchell Hutnick from Wheeling Central, and Dominic Reinhardt from East Fairmont also was an at-large qualifier. Moving on to Region 2, it was held in Hampshire. You had Frankfort, Kaiser, and Lewis County as your team qualifiers. Individually, Wyatt Thorne was an individual qualifier. He was runner-up to your regional champion, Ryan Hughes. Adrian Bott from Lincoln qualified. So did Austin Schumann, Carter Knight, and L.J. Seeley from Berkeley Springs. Now on to Region 3. Your team qualifiers were Shady Spring, Pikeview, and Clay County. Johnny Walkup is a 2-time now regional champion from Nicholas County, ran 17:23 to take that title. Ethan Dowdy and Logan Mallett from Shady Spring were second and third in that race, and that was a close one. Luke Barr qualified individually from Nicholas County as well, so it was a tight race there. Brody Lester from Wvssac, just a freshman, made it, as did Jaden Accord from Liberty Raleigh, and so did Tristan Toller from Liberty Raleigh as well. Then in Region 4,
what time do you think
Colton Priest, just a freshman, was your champion. Dylan Strait, also a freshman from Herbert Hoover, was runner-up, but it was Buffalo that was your team region champion.
Results for today's championships can be found on athletic.net, not Athletic Live, but athletic.net.
And that will wrap up your regional preview. Let's go ahead and talk about
results from the girls AA race should be uploaded to athletic.net at this time.
Into this AA boys race.
Point my camera.
Again, we already indicated that Trevor George is likely the favorite.
I'll just pay attention to where you go, and I'll aim that way.
And Ryan Hughes from Frankfort is also expected to contend.
Yeah, and I'm sure Benjamin Tenney's probably thinking that he'd like to have a better place than his sister. She got third, so he's thinking that, and he's ranked the 4th best runner, so, he's hoping he can move up there as well.
You get a great shot of it there. There's your top 10 ranked runners. And Julian Johnson from Williamstown. You see similar programs on the boys and girls side being really competitive. MJ Niggemeyer from Grafton competed well. You talked about Benjamin Tenney from Elkins, Gavin Brown from Elkins, Luca Altabello from Kaiser, Colson Annan from Grafton, and Will Coiner from Williamstown. But you see right there, 1, 2, 3, 4 Elkins runners in that top 10 ranking. That's why they are the favorite to come and take that title.
Yeah, I think, Adam, maybe more of the battle might be for runner-up between Frankfort and Grafton. They're a little closer together in the ranking, so it'll come back to those placement points when you get down through there, those stretches between not only the first and second runner, but the 4, 5, 6, and 7 runner can make a vast difference in how the teams place out as we go through this.
All right, the runners are headed to the line. They got their final instructions. And again, lining them all up. A lot of nerves on that line.
Yeah, those jitters until that gun sounds and they're off across the race, and then there they go, and then they get in their rhythm and try to stay with the pack and stay with the people that as they come across the field. The field of about 75 runners, I believe, something in that neighborhood, as they come across. And the first field, again, not a churned up track, which is great to know that they're going to be, they're not going to be in any peril in any part of the track.
little bit of separation here very, very early. You talked about trying to get out and get out of the mess of that start, and that looks like this is getting pulled along pretty early. There you see the individual qualifiers that made it to this meet. You indicated in the girls' race, everybody good gets to come here and compete for a state title.
Now we see a little bit of separation there in the top two from the rest of the pack, which I'm going to suspect one of those would have to be Trevor George.
And right now, it sounds like it's Hughes.
Yeah, might be
from
Ryan
Frankfurt.
Hughes, the senior from Frankfurt.
Yeah, a 3-time all-region athlete, 2-time all-state, won every race he has been in except a third-place finish at the Ben Blosser Invitational, but his PR is 15:27. That is moving.
He's actually running like he's running a 15:27
Yeah.
right now. I mean, he is just out of bullet. I mean, that's one of the faster starts we've seen.
So what kind of message does that send to the rest of the field? You know, if you're in that lead, you're thinking, okay, let's go. But also, if you're back, are you thinking, you're trying to measure? Did that guy go out too fast? Or are you going to try and sit and wait? How do you be patient if while you're watching Hughes get shot out of a cannon?
You have to stay within your race, because if you try to go out there and step outside of your comfort zone and say, hey, I got to stay with this guy, I got to be within his eyesight, or I'm not going to be competitive. If you do that and step outside of your race of what you know your capabilities are, then you're going to end up really ruining your race at the end, because you're not going to have anything left in the tank. He has just decided, I guess Ron Hughes decided that he doesn't want anybody to compete against him, and he's out there. I mean, I don't know how far it looks like he's. It's
a huge lead. We're only 2.5 minutes into this race. It's a huge lead early on, and so you have to ask the question, right? Are you measuring yourself up? But the other part of it is too, if you can go out and run away and hide from people, there are a lot of, you talked about kind of the curves and so you can't be completely hidden at times. But if you can build that sort of lead, you can kind of crush the spirit of other people too.
Yeah, I mean he's so far ahead of everybody. There's not anybody within, at least at what we can see on our drone view, 100 meters from him maybe. I mean, he's just so far ahead. But you got to look at it. If he feels it, he feels like he's got it in him today. It's his day to race. And you already mentioned earlier, Adam, a 15 and some change. That's a phenomenal time.
Yep.
In a 5K. I mean, by any standard, I don't care what course you're on. People say, well, flat course, whatever, it doesn't matter. That is smoking. If you run 16 flat in a 5K, you're running a 5:07 mile.
Yep.
I mean that's pretty quick.
Yeah, you're seeing there the qualifiers on the side of the screen there from each team, and we already went over the individual qualifiers there at the start as well. So the top 7 run, but the teams are listed with alternates, and you get a great look at the lead there that has been built by Hughes. And now here comes a couple of Williamstown runners in there as well.
We see another Frankfurt runner in there as well.
That was Julian Johnson from Williamstown with that number 5 bib, and there was another Williamstown runner in there as well, 119. That is Frank Connor up top. So
kind of following with the predictions, pretty much the top 10 are somewhere around in that mark.
Right.
Haven't seen too many surprises sneak up in that first group yet.
That's what makes this exciting, though, because whatever you did before, you can really throw it out the window. And you take a look at the course map here at Cabell Midland, just coming up on that first mile here in a moment. It's going to be a hot first mile from Ryan Hughes taking that lead. And again,
that's looked at it like about a 5:14, 5:15.
Yeah, and it looks like Niggemeyer from Grafton is up in that mix, and another Grafton runner. So a couple of guys a little bit off the board. It looked like that was bib number 49, Chase Mayer, as well. So Grafton, Williamstown, Frankfort trying to make a mark here in this team race.
Yeah, the Chase Mayer kid from Grafton, Adam, he's just a freshman. So he probably doesn't know what he's up against.
Yeah, you said it a little bit before, like a little bit of blissful ignorance, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's best not to know. You you go out there and you run and give it all that you got and whatever you have left out there. I mean, that's all a coach can ask for.
Yeah, and so last year's champion was in this race was Winfield, the Generals of AA. Braden Marshall capped off a terrific career, winning his third state title. The Generals, as a team, were dominant with 38 points, or 22 points. Excuse me. That is an absolute dominant performance.
Yeah.
Of course, Winfield now moving up to AAA, and graduated some talented athletes as well. And we'll get more into that as the AAA races will be next on our schedule, and then we'll close the day with the single A race. So now here in mile 2, no one's still in the shot here, and it's Ryan Hughes looks bound and determined here.
It just doesn't seem like anybody has the ability to. I mean, he went out like a bullet for the first probably half mile and decided I'm going to separate myself from everybody else and see if they can come and catch me.
Yeah, and so once you build that lead, you can really kind of settle into a pace.
Right, and you get a rhythm, and you're not really battling anybody else. There's nobody around. That's number one. Number two, you're not going to be in any trouble because there's nobody around you, especially when you were talking about those sharp turns and those quick turns that are in the course later on, and they're coming up here. You know, he doesn't have to worry about that. He doesn't worry about being cut off or somebody cutting in front of him, so that's no issue at all. He gets to work the inside of the curve. Whenever he's wherever he's at here, he's going down a little bit of a slope. But, you know, I mean, it's you know, there's no trouble when you're running by yourself. The thing that you have to be cautious about is how do you know where your marks are? Well, you know, your coach are going to tell you, you know, where you are at 1, where you are at 2, you know, in terms of your times. He knows where he is and he knows how he feels right now. But he also knows there's nobody around him.
Yeah, and right here, he's going to get a look. We can't see the runners coming around, but you can get a look and see what kind of lead you built, and you can kind of send a message to these guys that you're not getting me.
Yeah,
right?
You're not going to catch me. I mean, he's going to sneak a peek and look over there and see where's the rest of the pack, and they have kind of strung out and kind of fallen into place according to their rank.
Yep.
But, I mean, Ryan Hughes is making a statement right now, for sure. I mean, he's just decided – you know, I don't want anybody. I don't want to run around anybody. I'm just going to run away from everybody, and this will be a one-horse race. And this is a little bit of surprise.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, you know, certainly Trevor George didn't think he'd go out like a rocket.
Yeah, Trevor George ran 17:45 to win that Region 1 championship and had a terrific season all season long.
Well, now we finally get a shot here, Adam, of somebody that's starting to close a little bit on him.
There we go. Yeah, it's been so long. So, again, you know, citing him a little bit.
That makes a huge difference, particularly when you're trying to track somebody down that, you know, you've been running by yourself for the whole race, and this guy's got you in your marks. Now, I mean, when he came off of that curve, he probably had a 15-stride lead.
Wow.
Now it's down to what, 5?
Oh, my. What a charge here. What an absolute charge. And it takes a lot of mental strength. We talked about getting in front and holding that lead. And it takes a lot of mental strength to say, okay, go ahead and go. I'm going to bide my time, and I'm going to be patient and try and reel you back in. And now the lead has changed hands. And this looks like a really sharp move as well.
Can't really get a good look.
No, as they come up to the 2-mile mark, I'm thinking we should be able to get a better ID on the athlete there. Yeah, that is Trevor George, I'm sorry, taking that lead, followed by Ryan Hughes. And it is Williamstown, Frank Connor there in third. And then it'll be Joshua Bodkins, Benjamin Tenney, Elkins really strong now. They are backing it up. And that lead is now opening up the other direction. Now boy, if you're Ryan Hughes, you got to try and hold on, right? you really.
Well, he expended a lot of energy going out like that, as fast as he went out. So now he could be in peril of losing that runner-up position.
Yeah, but you know what? How about shooting your shot and going for it, right?
You know what?
Hey, I want to go and try and win a state championship. This is my path to do it. I think this is my best opportunity to do it, and you give it a shot. Now this race isn't over yet, and there's still some work to be done, but a lot of credit to that young man for giving it a shot, giving it a go.
I mean, he's right at him. He's still running a great race for him. I mean, Trevor's come on and really pushed himself. He decided to make the move at the 2-mile mark, and hats off to him and to Ron Hughes for battling it out. Now he's got to really worry about focusing on trying to. He's probably not going to keep Trevor in his sights, but he can still hang on to that second spot.
And here's another part where you can see where you are if you're the leader and catch a peek a little bit. And it was really a strong move here in mile 2, to say the least. And he looks like he is continuing to just kind of pour it on. Now down that hill will spit you out onto the practice field where it's going to start to flatten out, and then you just got to kind of find a way, find that rhythm again to try and get home to a state championship. Trevor George, just a sophomore, so it's possible, Coach, that we could have a freshman in the girls and a sophomore in the boys.
Absolutely. The thing that's important, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, Adam, coming down that hill is a great opportunity for you not to use a lot of energy and really make up some time if you're one of those people that are in that pack. Of course, Trevor here is by himself, but you can really open up that stride length a little bit when you're going down the hill to save yourself some real estate and some time as you go and energy. And then when you hit that flat spot, then get your rhythm back and get back on track.
Oh boy, so close to the finish line here. You have to maintain your composure because you are so close, but still have to put the car in the garage, as I like to say.
Good expression there. I like that one. Got to park it.
That's right.
Full time. It's got to go.
That's right. And again, a lot to happen here behind Trevor George.
There'll be an awful lot of action
Yep.
between 2 and 10, I suspect.
Yeah, and so going back, it looks like Grafton, Elkins, Frankfort, the teams that we expected to compete are going to be competing for that champion. But when we saw the camera at that 2-mile shot, looked like Elkins had at least 3 in that top 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But again,
Pretty
it's a
solid.
team sport. But it's a team sport. You have to have that 4th and 5th come through too.
If that 4th and 5 really fall off and don't perform like they're supposed to, that could give Elkins a little bit of trouble. I mean, they got a little bit of a cushion, a little bit for in terms of winning it, but they still have to get out there and run.
Yep. Yeah. That low stick really, really helps, and this is going to be a pretty fast time as well. Just rounding about 14 minutes. It's going to be an impressive run here.
Yeah, for our viewers that don't know, and I'm sure there probably aren't very many, but in scoring, when you score in cross country as a team effort, it's your low team score, and the perfect score, of course, Adam, is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 15 points.
Yep.
So it shows you how really good Elkins is. I mean, their predicted team score is at 38, which is pretty phenomenal for a state meet.
Well, and we just talked about what Winfield was able to do last year, scoring 22 points. That's
phenomenal.
Yeah, that's not far off that perfect score that you were talking about. All right, sneaking up here, getting close to getting onto that track, and this is going to be a pretty solid time here from just a sophomore, Trevor George. One more turn, I think, before making that last little bit up to the track.
He's still looking pretty strong, Adam. He's still running with great stride, and he hasn't seemed to fall off any. I mean, great tempo in his pace.
Yeah, great shot overhead there as we see what the race behind the race, right? A good pack there. And again, all these athletes want to do the best that they can for their team, of course, but that top 10 certainly is a marker. We've talked about how great Cabell Midland is as a host. And that experience for those athletes, those top 10 athletes and team champions is just incredible. And now he is on the track. It's Trevor George, the sophomore from Elkins.
Let's cheer him on as he tries to close out a state championship. Here's Ryan Hughes of Frankfurt.
Ryan Hughes has got onto the track.
Second rider on the track.
He's the one that came out really quick.
Yep.
And he has maintained his second
Benjamin
place, which is
Tenney
good for
of
him.
Elkins.
I'm sure he'll be
And Josh Watkins of
Got
Elkins.
a 40-meter lead on third and fourth.
And here he comes to the line. He's celebrating. He knows it.
He's already got
Trevor.
It's Trevor George from Elkins. Congratulations. And about 16:10. Here comes second place in Hughes finishing out. Congratulations to him as well. And it's going to be Elkins and Elkins. That's first. Benjamin Tenney coming in. And then he's going to be followed by Joshua Bodkins.
Josh Watkins.
Now we're going to race a couple of Williamstown runners in the mix.
Johnson of Williamstown.
Coming in strong. That's Grafton with a couple of athletes. That's another Elkins runner. That's going to be really, really tough to beat.
Come back with another Williamstown.
Yeah, Williamstown, Frankfurt. Again, the usual suspects that we expected in this one. Another Grafton runner. Solid performance from
Wyatt Horn of Hampshire.
That is Wyatt
Johnny
Horn
Walkup of Nicholas County. Luca Altabello of Keyser.
Now coming in, wearing that 8 bib is Luca Altabello.
Jonah Nolan of Pikeview. Austin Schumann of Liberty Harrison.
Yeah, and a lot of guys when they get on the track, it's
Ethan Dowdy and Luke
some
Barr.
are kind of decelerate.
Logan Mallet.
Coasting, and there are others. It's like this is where I can start picking off people is what we call them. You pick them up.
Yep.
Eli Jordan. Carter Knight. Ronnie Blackshire of Buffalo High School. Sawyer Dobbins of Clay County.
In double A.
Caleb Rose and Trent Ferguson.
Last year. It's a tough transition.
Cameron Gray of Grafton.
Squad acclimated to double A.
Oak Conquer of Oak Lynn.
Oftentimes you'll ask, how do you think you got past you again? Well, first of all,
Trey Tolley of Buffalo.
And you've already covered over 3 miles. And second,
Cooper Burkhammer of Lewis County.
Last 5 or 6 meters to go, and you're running your pace, and you really just can't change gears in the last.
Elijah Keaton of Pikeview.
Yeah, that's right. When you're out on the course and somebody makes a move on you, you usually have some opportunity to
Landon McGee of Keyser.
Momentum is a thing, right?
Exactly.
and it's really kind of tough to respond in that way. And again,
Vaughn York
just
of Shady Springs.
to get here. This is a big day.
Joshua Shandlin of Williamstown.
Champion whether you're in 11th place or whether you're third place.
Zach Miller of Boca High School.
This is just a really big day for these athletes.
Owen Cobb and Wesley Mallet of Buffalo.
First time seeing it past 4 guys. You know, I mean, you think, well, that's really not that big a deal. It is. First of all, it's
Dominic Reinhardt of East Fairmont.
How that's going to mesh out as your team goes. And you're exactly right, Adam. These guys are out there competing, giving them their all. Seen another guy come on the track. He's passed group of 3. And he's getting
Jacob Lively of Boca High School.
I don't think he can catch it 50. He's got about 40
Jake
meters.
Fitzwater of Clay County.
A group of 4 coming onto the track, so that's important as well.
Owen DeBar of Lewis County.
Again, without the official results.
Travis Anderson of Herbert Hoover.
Put together a terrific team performance.
Zane Stewart of Lewis County.
Just be a matter of where that 5th came in to round out the scoring.
Good job, Lincoln!
We talked about a little bit earlier, Benjamin Tenney finished 3rd. I'm believing that he didn't want his sister to outdo him. So, you know, they have bragging rights at the dinner table.
Bryson Miller of Scott.
I outplaced you at the state.
Andrew Taylor of Clay County. And Andrew Arbogast of Herbert Hoover.
Go out for a run. Another turkey trot,
no
right?
No doubt about it. Turkey trot. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Log those miles. But it's interesting, though, Coach, we talked about Elkins before.
Well, it is.
How beneficial is it to have the alignment and to go and run together, not just on a meet day, but in training, and kind of motivate you and kind of stick together, throughout the season and in the off season.
Yeah, that's super important, because what you get is competition within the competition. You got guys that rise to it, and each runner has some strengths that other runners don't have, and they can kind of play off of that. But when you have that inner competition on your own team, it's sometimes better than being in a race competition, because, like you said, they got 3 guys that are underclassmen.
Yeah.
I mean, they have 1 senior out of that group. And that Elkins group is, they got a lot of, the expectation for them is, hey, we're supposed to win.
I'm way better.
And we, whether you call it pressure, like you said, call it privilege, it doesn't really matter. They still got to go out there and perform and run their race and do the best they can, which it seems like by all appearances they have done today. But having that team competition within itself, you can kind of actually stretch out their abilities a little bit better, particularly those your 5, 6, and 7 runners, even the ones that aren't in the top 7, trying to make that top 7 to make the varsity squad.
And I think that's what we see across the state in some different pockets. Obviously, in the northern portion of the state with Morgantown and University, that have continued on both the boys and girls side to compete at a high level. And then you just see these other pockets. Winfield has done it as well. And now it looks like something is brewing in Elkins. And that it just continues to breed success, the more that you can get. And it's not just the one person here or there. Williamstown, you could say the same thing about on the boys and girls side as well.
Yeah. When we talked, and we did talk about this a little bit earlier in the girls' race, that, the level of competition and how they've risen over the past 10 years. I mean, years ago we talked about, thinking that Tori Starcher was an anomaly.
Right.
How well she ran. And her times now, they're still good times, but, we've had people pass her left and right.
Well, it's a great point. I was thinking about this today. I thought, when watching Irene Riggs run, and you go, well, we'll never see anybody like Irene Riggs ever again. And then here today, a star could perhaps be born with Mason Fletcher winning her first state.
Yeah, that's just one for her. She's got 3 more to go, hopefully, all things being considered. But, here's a girl that will look at like, I'm going to go after Riggs' record and see if I can do that, which would be phenomenal in itself. So, but they can do that now because like she mentioned too when she interviewed, what she was going to do. Take a little time off or do whatever, and then what she's going to do is go right back out and start training again. And that's what's I think making these runners kind of elevate their game a little bit. Why are they turning in these insane times? Well, it's because they're training pretty much year round.
Yeah, that's right. You don't show up on August 1st and think, okay, I think I'm going to go out and do this. You can, but it makes it difficult. All right, our champion Trevor George is making his way up to the booth, but we are going to step away for just a few moments and get him all settled in here. We will be back in just a moment with your champion Trevor George.
Sophomore, freshman, sophomore.
Great. All right, so we got a little bit of rhythm
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store.
Today's culinary warriors have been challenged to concoct the ultimate snack masterpiece, using only the finest weapons in our arsenal:
snacks and deli delights. Rosemary wields the ancient spears of Laffy Taffy, and Silas counters with the arrow of Slim Jim. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Join us next time for more delicious duels on the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack Off. Till then, keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right.
Recover.
Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix.
Yes. Great, thank you. How much time do we have?
A couple minutes, and we can.
Yeah, right.
I took a night break just before.
Hey, the monitor just froze.
That's all right. That's all right.
We'll begin at 10:45 at the main gymnasium in the school. Doors to the gym will open about 5 minutes prior to that. Encourage everybody to make their way over to the...
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in West Virginia, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par Mar Stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par Mar app and sign up for the Par Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par Mar Stores, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
I was so excited when I heard this sandwich was back. I was like, Cloud 9. 2 words, Cloud 9. What's up? This is Mike.
And this is Celia.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich
is the symphony of flavors. You can always count on that crispy, tender, juicy chicken.
Yeah, you can
and
hear
it's
us.
got
You should
pickled
be able to hear us
jalapenos,
now.
And it's so good.
My favorite part is the pimento cheese. Topped off with the honey, it all comes together perfectly. I like the original.
I like the spicy chicken fillet. But either way,
you're getting a winner.
Yeah.
Real customers
We'll
pay
have
for
you.
their testimonials.
Come on back here.
Farmers and
Trevor.
Mechanics Insurance knows West Virginia, and we understand how much all of our high school
No, we're not
teams and
getting
athletes
that,
mean
that
to the
fee.
communities that we have served for more than 100 years.
Yeah, we should.
That's
we should.
why we're proud of our
Eventually, we're
partnership
gonna-
with the
you're
West
gonna see us
Virginia
up here.
SSAC. Their
not
commitment
a
to
big deal.
teach and promote sportsmanship and citizenship is the key to future success. Protecting what matters most to you. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, a proud partner of the West Virginia SSAC.
The best thing about West Virginia is West Virginia.
It's family, faith, and integrity.
It's a strong work ethic. Everyone knows their neighbors. I think we feel closer to nature and we feel closer to each other.
You can achieve anything here.
To be a West Virginian is to be hopeful. We live in a state that has boundless opportunities, and with boundless opportunities come hope.
Hope Gas is lighting the way forward for West Virginia. Learn more at Wvssac.com.
How close is that?
Wouldn't it be nice to start your day with a homemade breakfast?
It was 16
And a freshly ground, whole bean roasted cup of coffee? Well, at Tudor's Biscuit World, every day starts with freshly cracked eggs, sizzling bacon and sausage. And you can't forget the mouth-watering made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits, hot from the oven. Whether it's our famous sausage gravy or your favorite breakfast sandwich, morning always tastes better at Tudor's. Looks great, tastes better. Tudor's Biscuit World.
Welcome back to Cabell Midland. Adam Zundel along with Coach Mahan. And we are here with the AA champion from Elkins, Trevor George. Trevor, congratulations on the run today. First of all, tell me about the mindset coming in. You got that number 1 on your bib. How did you feel a little bit of pressure?
Yeah, I didn't want to go into the race with the big number 1 and not get number 1. So and then I was telling everyone they need to come watch the race, get to see Elkins try to win state since because we haven't won since like 1979, right around there. So I had to get everyone here to see it.
Yeah, so you came out and you weren't really – you hit that first mile and it was probably a little slower than you wanted.
Yeah.
Tell us how you felt when there was that separation between you, and how was you able to reel him in?
Well, when I came through the mile, I got really scared because I saw him like really, really far up front. I was like, whew, like have a lot of catching up to do. And then I came through at like 5:30 and I was like, oh, geez, I'm like coming through really slow. So that second I passed the mile, I just went for it.
Tell me about that second mile, because that really seemed to be the critical part for you and reeling him in. What did you think about that part of the course and going for it in that moment?
Well, I remember yesterday we came up, we were practicing it, looking at spots to make your move at and stuff. And I just kept him in my sights and just got faster and faster coming down up and down the hills.
How difficult was it when he is out so far ahead in that first mile that you got to stay within yourself to run your race?
I'll stay under pressure, I guess. Don't let him get to your head.
And how do you do that with being only a sophomore?
I honestly don't know. I just know me and him have been really close all the time when we race, really, really close. I remember during track season, we were just within a couple seconds from each other. He beat me earlier this season, but I had to come back today better.
Right. Well, what about this team race? You talked about it and trying to win one for Elkins and bring that state championship back. Don't have the official results yet, but it looks pretty good for the Tigers. What would that mean for you if you all do end up at the top of the podium?
Mean a lot, because no one really talks about, us winning, because we haven't won a lot. I think the guys have only won twice, ever. So good
how
to
does that
get it
push
back.
when you have that many good runners in I think we counted 3 or 4 in the top 10. Yeah. How does that help you guys when you're in practice?
I mean, we've all been running with each other since middle school. So it's like we come up to practice, know what's up, know what to do. We got a really good coach, tells us everything. Get it, shoot.
All right, well, 2 more for you, and then we'll let you go. First of all, you're on the track. You're just finishing. You got a little bit of a sign there. Was that a little bit of relief as you're coming down the stretch there?
I took a look back right before coming on the back stretch to see how far he was back, and after I knew I had it, had to represent the school song.
All right, and last one. What about this award ceremony? What's it going to mean to you to be in that environment and take part of that at the top of the podium?
Well, a lot. Last year when I showed up, I got 8th. I think my late race last year wasn't. I mean, I didn't have a bad race, but I guess it shows how much work I put in over the off season, coming back and winning.
All right.
You had mentioned earlier that you had, Trevor, that you bested your PR by 9 seconds. That has to be a tribute to your coaches and to your training.
Oh yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
All right, there he is.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
congratulations
you.
once again, Trevor George, your champion from Elkins. Good job.
Thank you.
We're out.
Hey, good job. Well done. Thank you.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store.
Today's culinary warriors have been challenged to concoct the ultimate snack masterpiece using only the finest weapons in our arsenal. Snacks and deli delights. Rosemary wields the ancient spears of Laffy Taffy, and Silas counters with the arrow of Slim Jim. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Join us next time for more delicious duels on the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off. Till then, keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right.
Recover.
Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Chocolate Milk, the official beverage of high school sports, is brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast.
For over 4 decades, the health plan is called West Virginia Home. It all started with a vision to serve our community with pride and integrity. We've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming part of its fabric. We've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Because at the health plan, we don't just work here, we live here. Proudly serving West Virginia since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community. The health plan. Here for you.
No plan? No problem. Just wing it, and we'll do the rest. Plump and juicy? You got it. Fried to perfection? Always. Sauced and tossed, or naked if you prefer. It's always your choice at Geno's. Whether it's a 6 or 10 piece of our famous original wings, or our tasty traditional wings, or a 10-ounce portion of our tender boneless wings, we'll leave your mouth watering for more. We promise we won't wing it, but you should. Geno's Pizza and Spaghetti House. Just wing it.
Yeah, somebody mentioned didn't qualify for the team, but they have like a
Go tuition free with the West Virginia Invests grant program. Whether you're leveling up your career or just getting started, get the skills and free tuition at a West Virginia community and technical college. West Virginia invests in you. This is your chance. Get started at wvinvests.org. It's easy.
When the opportunity arose for me to pilot our new open heart surgery program at WVU Medicine Thomas Hospitals, I welcome the chance to bring world-class heart and vascular care to our region. Along with my role as the new cardiothoracic surgeon, our heart and vascular team includes an experienced group of cardiologists and vascular surgeons who are part of the WVU Heart and Vascular Institute. We're here, and we're bringing superior health care to Southern West Virginia and beyond. Visit thomashospitals.org to learn more.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. I apologize about my boys.
All right, welcome back to Cabell Midland. The AA races, boys and girls races, are in the books. And there you have a look at the top 10 individuals here for the boys. Trevor George, your champion, we just talked to him. Some great insight from him. Ryan Hughes, a gutsy performance to hold on to that second place. Benjamin Tenney, Joshua Bodkins, Julia Johnson, Frank Connor, Colson Annan, Chasen Mayer, Gavin Brown, and William Coiner. Coach, your thoughts about this top 10?
Well, it's really strong when you look at it from top to bottom. All of them were in the 16s. There's a couple guys that raced in the 16s and didn't make it in the top 10, but as you see there on the chart, there are 5 guys that hit their PRs, including Trevor George, who was able to shave off 9 seconds from his personal best in any race that he's been in. What a solid, strong field that top 10 was in AA boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, taking a look at the team race, as expected, Elkins with those 4 runners in that top 10 ends today with 39 points to take the championship. Frankfurt ends up in second. Grafton with a really strong performance, a couple of top 10 performances for Grafton, finishes with 79. Williamstown tried to make a go of it with 88. Shady Spring finishes in 5th with 121. Buffalo, we mentioned them moving from single A to double A, is in that 6th spot. Kaiser was 7th. Actually, Buffalo and Kaiser tied for 6th. I wonder if the tiebreaker then went to Buffalo based on that 6th runner. And then Wayne, Lewis County, Pikeview, Clay County, and Herbert Hoover round out your performances there for the boys AA. Coach, what are your thoughts about Elkins' performance here today?
Yeah, pretty strong. I mean, we had, and you saw in that top 10 in that graphic, Adam, half of those runners were seniors, so they'll be graduated, but the other half of those runners will be back. And then some of those guys that finished in the top, outside of the top 10, they're going to be moving up as well. But what a really strong effort by Elkins to bring that state championship home. And I think Trevor George alluded to it, that a lot of people didn't really put them on the radar, but they're definitely on the radar now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on and wrap up the girls AA, and we'll go through that top 10. We talked to Mason Fletcher, what a start to her career there with 18-17 to take that title. We thought it was going to be a great two-person race. It ended up being that way with Alyssa Sardo just a couple of seconds behind. Amelia Tenney taking third, Addison Tharp, Cassie Seitz, Julia Viola, Lacey Cameron, Addison Soul, Ava Lightfritz, Jenna Brown rounding out that top 10 to take the podium inside the Cabell Midland Gymnasium. That'll be an exciting environment. It's so great. Cabell Midland does such a great job of putting on an event and making those athletes feel special. Let's look at the team championship, and no surprise there, Williamstown, a really impressive, dominating performance. 36 points to take the championship. Frankfurt with 95, Elkins with 100. So you do see these programs, similar boys and girls, performing really well. Nicholas County finishes 4th. East Fairmont just misses that 4th spot in 5th. And then it's Herbert Hoover, a program with a lot of young runners with Mason Fletcher up top. We talked about environment and culture. That perhaps could bodes well there for Herbert Hoover moving forward. Kaiser, Shady Spring, Buffalo, Hampshire, and Chapmanville rounding out the results for the AA. So, Coach, we had a great morning this morning. Your thoughts overall about these AA races?
Well, kind of ended out the way we thought we would. We saw strong running there by Mason Fletcher, and then, of course, Trevor George with his efforts as well. But, you know, hats off to the Chris Parsons and the group that really just taken this since 2005, I believe. 2005-06, I think, is the first time they ran at Cabell Midland. And they just do a super job of getting the course ready, getting the kids ready, getting the coaches ready. And, of course, you know, we saw already there the top 20 runs in the boys and girls AA. 8 of them were PRs. So, you know, the training is right. You know, the kids are training right. The coaches are doing the job the right way. And, you know, cross country is definitely on the rise in West Virginia.
No doubt about it. We're going to see some more great races later on today. We're going to step away for a little bit. We'll be back here just before noon as the AAA races will head to Cabell Midland and take on the field here. We're looking forward to that, and then we'll round out the day with the single A races. So glad to have you along here for a great day of competition. We're going to step away right now. Thanks again for watching the 2024 WVSSAC Cross Country Championships.